Happy birthday, day, day, day. Happy birthday, day, 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 day. All right, hello there, thrill seekers, and that, of course, was a little snippet of the song "Happy Birthday" by Altered Images, and it's my birthday, in case you can't read. And my wife bought me this cool jacket. It's like a fake leather jacket made in the form of a denim jacket. I also have a denim jacket made in the form of a leather jacket, so I got a matched pair now. So today, on the occasion of my birthday, when I am 600,000 million billion years old, I would like to talk to you about a favorite quote of mine from Shobo Genzo. And this quotation appears in Volume 4 of the Nishijima Cross version of Shobo Genzo, and you'll probably have to look for it in a complete version, even if you get the Nishijima Cross version. This particular essay, which is called Yuibutsu Yobutsu, Buddhas Alone Together with Buddhas, isn't one of the ones that appears in kind of the greatest hits collections like Moon in a Dewdrop and things like that. It's really, it's one that really you have to go to the complete Shobo Genzo to find. So I'm going to read you the quote and then I'm going to say some stuff about it. So long version of the quote goes, "An ancient Buddha said, 'Mountains, rivers, and the earth, and human beings are born together. The Buddhas of the three times and human beings have always practiced together. Thus, if we look at the mountains, rivers, and earth, while one human being is being born, we do not see this human being now appearing through isolated superimposition upon mountains, rivers, and earth that existed before this human being was born.'" So I think that's a very interesting quote, and I'd like to talk about it. I just got hold of this new version of Shobo Genzo, the one that's the official Shobo Genzo put out by the Soto Shumucho. This is the Soto Zen Buddhist organization in Japan who sort of want to be the popes of Zen Buddhism, or at least Soto Zen Buddhism, at least Dogen's Buddhism. I believe the lead translator of this, who is it? I believe it's Karl Bielefeld, but it doesn't say. Maybe it says in one of the other volumes. Anyway, this was put together by a bunch of Dogen scholars, and this is sort of the official last word of everything. So I'm going to read you this version, their version of it. "An old Buddha said, 'Mountains, rivers, and the whole earth are born together with all of you. The Buddhas of the three times have been practicing together with all of you. This being the case, when a person is born, when we look at the mountains, rivers, and whole earth, we do not see that anything has been added on top of the mountains, rivers, and the whole earth that were there before the person was born.'" And they have this kind of weird little footnote that goes, this being, they're trying to translate, trying to explain this being the case. Shika areba sunowachi. They say, presumably meaning that if mountains, rivers, and the whole earth are born together with people, we would expect some change in them when a person is born, but we do not see that. I don't get that, but I don't know. Maybe they're saying the same thing as I want to say, but I don't get that. So one of the things that quote is saying is that when I was born on the 5th day of March, a billion million years ago, nothing new came into the world. And that, from even a purely materialistic point of view, that is kind of undeniable. All of the elements that were there before my birth and after the birth, everything is exactly the same. Nothing new was added. Whatever popped out of my mom on that day in March was a combination of elements and things, stuff that was here on the earth long before I was born. It just got transformed into something else along the way, and here it comes out as me. A Buddhist would push that even further and say that even the sort of mental, experiential, sort of that sort of nebulous, can't put your finger quite on exactly what it is, spiritual, for want of a better word, substance of the world, of the universe, didn't change in its amount when I was born. Nothing new was added. This is a completely different sort of way of thinking of things than the way that I grew up with, or the sort of version of things that I grew up with. Not really from anybody who was sort of involved in my direct education, but it was around. And that was the sort of Christian worldview, that each soul is unique. So God keeps creating new souls all the time. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know how many every second are born, But each one is a completely new soul, and that soul's purpose on earth is to be tested to see if it has faith in Jesus Christ. And even though there's plenty of evidence pointing to the idea that the Bible is wrong about a lot of things, we're supposed to have faith in the Bible anyway, and then we can go to heaven. And that was the sort of thing. And if we don't have faith, we're going to die and go to hell. But the main point of this is that this idea is that each person is a new something that never occurred before. Now, in a sense, every moment is a new moment that never occurred before. So yeah, you could, extrapolate that and say the person is a new something. But it's not really that. It's not that there is the new thing, boom, and then this new thing goes out and has experiences. It's that experiences happen, and the experiences are new, and the moment is new, the moment is unique, but the thing experiencing that moment, that thing experiencing the moment is unique, but it's not that there's a thing that experiences a moment that's unique. The moment and the person are one and the same. Okay, so that being said, I wrote about this in a book of mine called The Other Side of Nothing. And if you want to get me a cheap birthday present, go out today and buy this book, because it's not selling enough copies. It came out in 2022, and it's not dismal, but I wish it would sell more. So what I wrote about it appears in chapter 40 of this book. This book's got a lot of chapters. They're all short, though. Called I Am My Own Bad Hair Day, Buddhas Alone Together with Buddhas, Part 3, because I wrote a 3-part essay about this chapter because I like it so much. It's kind of an unknown chapter. And I just figured not enough people were writing about it. So I'm going to read you what I wrote about it, and maybe we'll discuss that a little bit. Okay, it says, I quoted him again, and I'm going to read the quote again because I love it. Thus, if we look at the mountains, rivers, and earth while one human being is being born, we do not see this human being now appearing through isolated superimposition upon mountains, rivers, and earth that existed before this human being was born. There you go. So, once again. So here's what I wrote about it. The world comes into being simultaneously with my coming into being. In opening The Hand of Thought, Kosho Uchiyama says something similar to this, but takes it even further. He says, when I took my first breath, my world was born with me. When I die, my world dies with me. In other words, I wasn't born into a world that was already here before me. This is what we're told all the time when we're growing up. I don't know, maybe some people aren't told this, but I certainly was, that the world was here long before me and it'll be here long after me, and I'm just an insignificant little blip in the world. But this is not the way Buddhists view things. And Kosho Uchiyama continues, I do not live simply as one individual among millions of individuals, and I do not leave everything behind to live on after me. And here's more what I wrote. In each moment is the universe. Dainin Kadagiri, whose place I went to a couple weeks ago in Minnesota, puts the same idea like this. When beings appear, why do you happen to be the particular being that you are now? You don't know exactly why, but you are a being whose life is already supported by the vast network of time and space. When a particular being arises, it is not just one thing that arises. All beings arise simultaneously. One thing can't arise alone because all life is deeply interconnected and nothing has its own independent existence. When you are born, the whole world is born with you. When you die, the whole world dies with you. And then I continue. Both Uchiyama Roshi and Katagiri Roshi studied with one of my teacher's teachers, Kodo Sawaki. In his book, Discovering the True Self, Sawaki Roshi said, "When we are born, our universe is born too. When we die, we take everything of our universe with us." Now this is a wild and crazy idea. This is me reading me. Let me see what I can do with it. I was born on March 5th, 1964. The Beatles' first American appearance was on The Ed Sullivan Show on February 9th, 1964, just under a month before I was born. My parents were married on November 22nd, 1962. John F. Kennedy was assassinated on the day of their first wedding anniversary, which must have put a damper on whatever celebration they had planned. All those events and lots of other things happened before I was born. Hitler ruled Germany for 12 years and then killed himself. Penicillin was invented. Columbus discovered America, at least as far as Europeans were concerned. Dogen lived, wrote a bunch of stuff, and then died. Woolly mammoths went extinct. Fish evolved into amphibians. The solar system coalesced out of interstellar gas and dust. Plenty of stuff went on. If I denied all that stuff and lots more happened, I'd be nuttier than those people who try to prove that dinosaurs never existed and that their supposed fossils were planted into the ground by God to test people's faith in the Bible. I actually heard that. Maybe you've heard it too. Furthermore, as I said earlier, there's a decent chance that my writings will outlive me and that some of you might be reading this after I'm dead. Hell, you might even be watching this video after I'm dead. Heck, Sawaki, Katagiri, and Uchiyama were all dead before I read their prediction that when they died, the world would die with them. And Dogen was dead way before they learned that idea from him. Obviously, then, their statements that the world was born when they were born and would die with them was incorrect. What an insanely arrogant thing to claim. Why would anyone believe such obvious nonsense? And so on and so forth. And you can read the rest of the book if you wanna know what more I have to say. But I'll see what I can say right now without having reread myself from 2 years ago. That's the Buddhist outlook on things. So today I'm celebrating my birthday. We're going to go out and have Indian food later. We had the family over. My wife's family showed up on Sunday and we had a birthday party. So, birthdays are real and there is some sort of significance, I suppose. We as Buddhists, not really the lineage I belong to, but a lot of Buddhists celebrate the Buddha's birthday or supposed birthday. Nobody knows. Nobody knows when Buddha was born any more than they know when Jesus was born. So, they pick a day and they celebrate on it. But so we acknowledge that these things happen, but we also have a certain amount of skepticism about it. I mean, I know I was born, but I don't remember it. And as far as I can tell, in my experience, my actual lived experience, as the kids like to say these days, of my existence in this world is that it is happening moment by moment. Every moment I'm born and every moment I disappear. And every moment this world is born and every moment this world disappears. That's my actual lived experience. I didn't see that for myself. Actually, the Buddhists say, that only the Buddha himself could actually see it that way. I don't know. But I didn't understand what that meant until I did loads and loads of Zazen and just sat there going and watching it all happen. And you do enough of that and things that aren't clear before you start doing a lot of that stuff become clearer as you keep doing that. Like I say always when I talk about Zazen, at first Zazen is just boring. Nothing happens. And there's an old joke where it's like a cartoon with this monk, a young monk and an old monk. And the old monk is apparently answering the young monk's question saying, yeah, nothing happens after this. This is it. That's it. This is what happens. This is what you do. So that's the normal progression of the practice, but after a while you start to notice that this is true. So here I am. When I was born, nothing new was added to the universe. When I die, nothing can be subtracted either, because there's just nowhere else for it to go. It just changes its form. So it's, March 5th is the day that we celebrate, or some people celebrate, of the form of this coming into existence. I don't know if that's worth celebrating or not, but, I got a little paper hat. So, that's... I don't know where I was going with that, but that's something we celebrate, and that's a thing. So, birth and death are happening. Even my finger snaps are too long of an instant to illustrate how fast this is. Dogen says there's something like 64 kshantas, which are the smallest moments in a finger snap. So that was 64 kshantas, and then somewhere in Shobogenzo he tells you how many there are in a day, and it's this huge number or whatever. I don't know where he got that number from. But it's happening all the time. So birth and death are happening all the time, and that's the Buddhist philosophy. And that philosophical conceit, I don't know if conceit is the word, that philosophical thingamabob, statement, whatever we call it, is something that when you do Zazen, you start to see. You won't perceive it. Like, you won't just suddenly see everything going blah, 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 like this. But it starts to become clear that that's what's going on, and that each moment is replacing another moment that's just gone, and that you can't go back to it. So, sorry, you can't go back and change it. You can't go back and assassinate my parents before I was born, like people want to do with Hitler. Probably there's people that want to do that with me. Don't assassinate my parents. Anyway, if you time travel, they're nice. Don't assassinate them. So that's it. And so happy birthday to me. I don't know, there isn't really a point here. I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that idea and use my birthday as an occasion to do that. If you want to send me a birthday present, here's the URL you can do that with. This is hardcorezen.info/donate. That is hardcorezen.info/donate. That's where you will find my PayPal and Patreon accounts. In addition to being places you can send a birthday present, they are also my way of making a living. So I appreciate your support, but you don't got to support me if you don't want to support me. All right, happy birthday to me. We will see you next time. Have a good time all the time. Bye. Hi, Ziggy. Are you convinced that there is somebody at the door? We just went out and checked, and there's nobody at the door. You and me went out and checked just now, and there's nobody there. Okay, honey? All right. Well, we'll go check again, okay? Come on. Let's go check again. Come on. Let's go check again. Come here. Don't worry about the book that fell over. We're going to go check again. Come here. See? Nobody's at the door. See? Nobody's at the door. Right?